Hello everybody and welcome back to the 6th edition of Garrett's Guide. Today we are going to be taking a look at the structure and construction document for Embrys. This is a large document comprising about 72 pages. We're not going to be going through all of them in detail, but it is a document that gives various benefits to your character by building a structure in a city of your choosing that can help you earn money, get some benefits on quests such as more HP, temporary HP, help you revive people easier that have fallen in battle, and various other benefits that you can gain from the system. So in order to find our structure and construction document, you go to your server information up in the information channel folder, scroll up to our links to documents, and it is this fourth document here. That'll take you up to our structure and construction document. So we have a table of contents up here that offers all of it. The reason this is so lengthy is because it has so many rooms, but each room is going to offer their own unique benefits. So first, let us begin by looking at the land costs of a structure, because we're going to go through the basics of building our own small structure. So the first thing you need to do when you build a structure is decide, one, where you're going to make it, and then purchase land within that city. So each city has a unique land cost to purchasing a structure within it, ranging from 1,000 GP for places like Garage to 3,000 for Umbra the underwater city, as it is a bit more limited space. So once you have decided that, we're going to go back to our channels over here, scroll down to the downtime section, go to construction, create our black bar, and we will do Garrett begins construction on a small structure in, we'll do garage for 1,000 GP. So now we have that down as our base cost, already fairly pricey for a lower level character, but next we begin talking about the general structure sizes. So these are the 6 sizes you can make when building a structure, ranging from tiny to gargantuan. They each have their individual cost in gold, construction time, and then a monthly cost once they have finished their construction. So the cost in gold is fairly self-explanatory. You're going to spend this much material to build the actual structure. In terms of time and days, this can come in various ways and means. Every day that passes in real life will count towards the construction of a structure. So say we are starting our construction on our small structure here. It's going to take us 20 real-life days, which you can mark on the calendar, keep track of in your post itself, or you can speed up by utilizing downtime days, our DT. So this will be, for our small structure, it is going to end up being 25,000 for resources to build. 0 out of 20 days. Completing on yada yada. As I'm not going to take the time to look it over because we're going to be spending downtime to speed it up. So let's say we go to non-adventure work and we spend 3 weeks basically making extra money and doing as we do with non-adventure work, as we had talked about before in our previous video where we looked at the downtime document and different activities you can do there. So when marking that post, I would make sure I say speeding up this structure by this much, similar to how I did here with Calypso. That way the data team knows that this is why it's speeding up. So after that, since we've spent 21 days, that extra day doesn't count as overflow, and our small structure would be completed. So now that we have it completed, we have 2 room points available through which we can make rooms. So these rooms each have a particular room point cost. Scroll down here a bit, we can look at a room, such as our alchemist lab here, where it costs 1 room point. Others will cost 2, which the highest room point cost in any room is 2. So that'd be the maximum we could build here with our small structure. But you are able to build rooms to your own customization and liking in order to fulfill those 2 room points as you deem fit, and you do not have to fill them right away. But moving forward, we'll talk about rooms a bit deeper in a little bit, but we're going to look at the other way in which you can acquire structures, which is through the use of the DMs. Because should you have the ability to claim a location after a quest, say a dungeon where you've defeated the Lich or whatever boss is within it, or a wizard's tower where you've defeated this boss and you wish to lay your claim to the structure should the DM allow it, you're able to take hold of that building. Now, this could come with a bit of damage alongside your structure that you may need to be repairing. This comes in the form of percentage that the DM is able to choose at their liking, and that percentage is going to be weighed against the base cost of the structure. So say there's a large castle that you come across and the DM says you can have, and they say it is 50% damage. That means you're going to need to spend back 5,000 gold pieces and 30 downtime days, or days in real life need to pass in order for this structure to be repaired and fully functional once more. Once you have it fully functional, it functions the same as any other structure would under your complete control. That does also bring us to bonus rooms, however, because room points are not the only way you can have rooms, as if a DM gives you the structure, it may come with what is called a bonus room. This bonus room basically is just an add-on. It's a free room that doesn't cost any room points. It's not going to count towards the total number of room points. It's not going to add any additional fees to your area. It's just pure benefit as a free additional room. But that is our DM structures. They can have some bonuses, some detriments that you need to repair, so on and so forth. Also, when it comes to structures, there is going to be a monthly cost associated with the structure. At the beginning of each month, you'll need to pay a set amount of gold pieces equal to whatever, size structure you have. So, with our small structure, once the month turns over, we need to pay 130 gold pieces in order to, keep it running. Should you not pay these benefits, that means you will not see the benefits of your rooms for that month until they are paid, as your room is going to start falling into disrepair and you are going to need the help of others to fix it up. So now, let's look at our different types of structures we have. These are all just flavorful additions that you can use, or ideas for what kind of structures there are in the world that you could create. So you could have an apartment, nice rented abode, a cottage, you could have a house, estate, shop abbey, so on and so forth, however you wish to flavor your structure being. So with our small house, we will call it a cottage, out on the outskirts of town, just nice little humble place. So moving forward in our document, we next have upgrading structures. So should you be attached to your structure and want to expand upon it, add a few more room points and a few more extra benefits to it, you are able to upgrade it from one size category to the next by spending the difference. So what that would mean is an example, if we were to increase our small structure to a medium structure, we would need to pay 2,500 gold, as that's the difference between 5,000 and 2,500, and then 10 additional days of downtime or time passing in real life. And that would give us that benefit of the extra room point and then a bit of an extra higher monthly maintenance cost. But you just pay the difference between the two sizes. So now, let us look at a few rooms. So when it comes to room, each room is going to have a cost, a benefit, and then the nice flavor of what this room looks like, which you are able to change and flavor how you like. So in terms of cost, they'll have the size cost, which is how many room points is going to take out of your total, how much it's going to cost in gold, how much it'll cost in days to construct it. So this will go on top of the days you are building the actual structure with. So with our medium structure, it would take about 35 days to get us the full base structure, and then and then 15 with that, putting them together for 35. In order for us to fully complete a alchemist lab within our structure. So once we've made this post, we'd go in and say, Garrett begins construction on an alchemy lab in his small structure, spending, let's see, it's about 4,500 GP. 0 out of 15 days completed. This would be in a separate post, but I'm putting them here as a quicker log. Then, of course, each room will have its own unique benefits, such as this one giving you the presence of these different toolkits at all times, benefits to transmutation spells, and also some benefits when you are crafting poisons. There are other things like the animal pen, where you can store creatures, Arcanist study, Your armory, where you have a +1 magic weapon of your choosing alongside any other weapons you choose. And then you have stuff like the bank, where you can earn some money. It's also going to cost 2 room points for this bank, which is one of our larger rooms. Let me see if I can find us a nice money-making room. Alright, here's our boutique. So when you construct a boutique, it's going to earn you money at the beginning of each month. So at the beginning of the month, it's going to generate 46 times 30 gold pieces in revenue. So how you would log that once it's completed is you would go over to our expenditure tab and click on the revenue. And this is where you will log how much your rooms make, similar to how I did with the Caravanserai here. So we'd go to DT Dice Rolls and roll !R 46 times 30. 30. Test for video. And boom, we'd make 480 gold pieces on our month for this boutique. And then that would go on for every month so long as you continue to pay that maintenance cost for your building. And there are many different rooms that can make money however you wish to flavor them, such as the Caravanserai, which is the one I had that we showed off a little bit ago, where this one actually generates once a week, 5d6 times 5 gold pieces at the first day of the week. But that is another money-making room. I'm not going to go through each room in detail as you can read through them. If you have any questions as to what a room does, you are free to go over and post it in our questions chat in the public chat, and someone would be glad to assist you. So next, we are going to talk about room modifications. As with our rooms, you also have the ability to customize your room further with different modifications. Let me scroll us down a little bit further. There we go. So you can have a modification on your room. Similar to other areas, you pay a certain amount of gold in a certain amount of days, either in real life or by spending downtime to speed them up as time goes on. And they will be added into your room as additional effects, such as the extra dimensional. This room's door is actually a portal to its own pocket dimension in which you get to set the laws of gravity up. So you could have a nice fun shop where it's on the ceiling. Just for the heck of it. It also has protection against scrying, tracking, or other ways of looking into the room. There's many other modifications. We're not going to go into any in big detail beside our spell room, which we're going to look at here with warded or spellbounded. So the construction cost in gold is going to vary with this, but every construction time will be 7 days. Here it lists the amount of DC, should you be using NPC, as the other requirement is you need a character or a hireling that can cast the listed spell, in which you could pay a cleric to do it for 3 times the spell's level in gold pieces. Or 50 times the spell's level in gold pieces, my apologies. Should it be a cleric spell, otherwise you need to find a character willing to do it, and you could use their spell save DC on it. So I'm just going to scroll through these very quickly, as these are effects that will be on your room permanently, or if they are one-time use, until they go off. With spells such as Darkness or Daylight, putting the entire room under the effect of that spell, as well as Fog Cloud. And various other ones having effects that affect the whole room, or specific areas based on what you designate on the casting time. So, we then have refurbishing rooms. Should you find a room no longer useful to you and wish to change it out for a different one, you are able to do so by spending the difference. You don't have to pay the full cost of the room. Instead, you subtract half the DT and gold cost from the previous room you had from the cost of constructing the new one. So let's say we have, let me scroll back up to one of our rooms. Let's say we have a theater here, and we want to turn into something else. So we can subtract half of its cost. So that'd be about 2,250, if my math is correct, in 7.5 days. So from there, if we are turning it into a training room, we could take off 2,250 from this, making it about 1,100 or 1,250. Please forgive me if my math is off, as I am freestyling it. And then, of course, 7.5 days to construction time. So you can make that quicker change in rooms, should you decide that a room is no longer beneficial to you. Next, we have protecting your property should you wish. If you have enemies or people you feel might raid or attack your base, you have the ability to set up walls based on the following stat blocks and the cost per section, with each section being contributed towards a room point. So, in order to fully put a room or a wall around your structure, you'll need to spend enough equal to your room points. So let's say we're getting in a wood wall for our small 2-room point structure. We need to spend 2,000 GP. And then we'd have a wooden wall around a structure. You can also buy various means of weaponry that you can use to basically protect your structure, should you wish to, and plant them on that wall. But with that, we are going to move back up towards the top of the document to look at co-ownership. So when you first construct your room, or your structure, you are designated as the owner. Should you be working with a team or working with a group and they contribute their own gold, you can designate them as the co-owners by putting down how much gold they're putting in the original post. So what does a co-owner mean? A co-owner is basically one who also owns the structure, has the ability to adjust it, put rooms in it, take rooms away, upgrade it, do as they wish with it, similar to the owner. They can also designate allies that they wish to allow the benefits of the rooms to go to, who can use these before a quest or at their leisure. So if you do not have co-owners at the beginning of the structure's construction, you can add in a co-owner by spending half of the base cost of the structure. So the tiny structure costs 1,000 GP, as it says here. And to add a co-owner, they'd need to put in 500 GP to that tiny structure. Then they're listed as it. Also, as a benefit, when you first purchase a structure within a city, you get +1 renown within that city, as well as when you become a co-owner. So we're going to be looking at renown in a later video. It's basically your know-how in the city and people knowing you and having thoughts or opinions on you, either good or positive or bad. In total, only 3 additional people can be co-owners to a structure. And with that, we have looked through the entirety of our structure document, at least in one way or another. As always, if you have any questions, the questions chat or contact a helper are a good place to find and discuss things with other individuals. But with that, I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you learned something. Peace.